At first glance, this is just another American neighborhood filled with strip malls. A closer look reveals this South Vietnamese flag on the roadside and a vibrant Vietnamese community filled with small businesses.
The Vietnamese community is here, and we love it.
Born in Vietnam and brought up in the U.S., Sunny Nguyen co-owns Seven Leaves Cafe, located in the heart of Little Saigon. It's where the largest population of Vietnamese outside of Vietnam calls home. This cafe blends Western design with Asian-influenced food and drink.
Thank you. Thank you.
This fusion reflects most of the cafe's customers, who are generally younger Vietnamese Americans. Many of them are optimistic about President Obama's visit to Vietnam.
I think it's important for any president to go ahead and foster better relationships with different countries.
Back then, a lot of things were different than they were these days. So I think that fostering a relationship with communist country doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing.
This younger generation says it's about mending the wounds of the past, stemming from the Vietnam War and the communist takeover of the country.
We lost everything. So there is, for my parents' generation, it's much more vivid. And those that live here in Little Saigon, it's a scar.
Many in the older generation are doubtful that much will change in Vietnam and even frown at the prospect of closer ties. But the younger generation of Vietnamese Americans has a more hopeful view, says Dong Do, managing editor of Nuoc Viet, the largest Vietnamese newspaper outside of Vietnam.
With the internet, now with more opportunity, a lot of young Vietnamese people, they went back to Vietnam for charity work. So, and also some take Vietnamese class.
California native Alvin Bui traveled to Vietnam to use his Vietnamese language skills. He explains via Skype.
You connect with other Vietnamese youth in creating a better future for Vietnam, right? So figuring out what they're thinking in their own language, like trying to get in their own head.
Sunny Nguyen also dreams of a better future for Vietnam.
I'm Vietnamese, and I do have a deep care, and I know Vietnam is still a third world country. Majority of the people are poor, and I want to be able to make a change in the world, and if there are groups that I want to help is the Vietnamese people. But I think the only way to do that is through reconciliation.
The consensus of the younger Vietnamese Americans here seems to be that Obama's trip is an opportunity for both countries to heal from the past and start a new chapter in history. Elizabeth Lee for VOA News, Orange County, California.